Okay. Yeah. Good morning to everyone. And I think I'm meeting first time. So I am Maruti, working in TNS platform team. But apart from that, currently, yeah, also working for the incident management committee. And I am here today to share you about the Mercari's incident management process. I think you will get something out of it. Um, so yeah, let's get started. So today, mainly we'll be sharing in two. There will be two main agendas. Do you guys know what is an incident? Does someone want to share what's an incident? Okay. Yeah, I assume I think everyone who are on mid career level have experienced is incident in their um, engineering yeah during their engineering cycle. So let's just start with the incident. What is incident is? So the next slide tells. Okay, here you go. So an incident is an unplanned interruption to any ID service or reduction in the quality of service which we are providing. So it's different from normal day-to-day operation. Your system is working fine, and then you notice that some features become unavailable, or um, the service of quality is not as expected. Then you assume it's an incident. So yeah, here I think it's just defined as what's a normal operation and incident. So for incident, you have to declare it explicitly. Normal operations, I think you don't need to be. Um, Incident states require a special set of rules, which is defined. Declare when the incident is over. So that's the incident, which is different from the day-to-day operations. And goal of this incident management is uh, we want to return to the normal operation with as little as impact as possible. So as fast as possible. You don't want to take so long to recover from the incident. You want to minimize the impact on customers. So follow up with the postmortem shortly after. Goal of the incident management. So you want to minimize the impact on our customer, and it need to be done as fast as possible. And after that, you will do the postmortem to make sure that you don't repeat the same issue again and again. So that are the goals of incident management mainly. Okay, so here are the states which is defined under the blameless tool which we are using. Once you identify incident, you declare it. Then you go for the investigation. Uh, you identify the cause of the incident. Then you do the monitor, and eventually you do the necessary changes and mark it as a result. Okay. So by the way, just interrupt me if you guys have any questions anytime. Raise your hand. I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay. Next, uh, we'll be talk about the incident severity. So severity is something which defines the criticalness of incident, how critical an incident is, and we have a set of rules to identify the severity of incidents. So in Mercari, we have defined severity as severity 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas severity 1 and 2 considered as a major incident, and below it is considered as a minor incident. So severity 1 and 2, severity 1 is the most critical one, where I think um, for an incident you have to issue some public notice. um, So those, I think, those category incidents called severity one. In severity two, I think it's again a critical issue and impact a wide range of customers, and they are unable to use our product. So that is categorized as a severity two incidents. There is more concrete information available on. You can check. There is a link like a detailed flow to estimate incident severity. So you can check when you are estimating the severity. But here are just an examples that what how you define the severity there. Initially, when you work on incident, you might not be aware about the severity. So you start with defining with based on your based on the data at present moment, and then after some time you realize that okay, it's more bigger than you expected. So you can update the severity later on also. And then there is a severity 3 and severity 4. Severity 3 is again, I think, customer is having issues, but not as big as severity 2, um, and similar for severity 4, which is a little low impact compared to severity 3. There is a detailed flow, as I shared again. So when you are estimating severity, go to the detailed flow, and there is a decision diagram, so you can check for that to estimate the correct severity of the incident. Now, let me go to incident roles. So in incident management process, as we discussed about the goals before, we want to recover as fast as possible. So for in order to do that, I think we need to have a set of rules and roles, so that I think we can react to incident in a smooth way. So in Mercari, we have defined the incident roles as these three: incident commander, take lead, and communication lead. So let's see what has each responsibility. So incident commander takes the whole ownership of the incident outcome. Not necessarily, I mean, he can be a senior most person. Anyone can be a incident commander. Then I think incident commander mainly is responsible for delegating the responsibility to appropriate persons, and he will be acting as a single source of truth during the incident, and he will be responsible for maintaining the IAP and CAN. We will talk about CAN later, but just say that incident commander uh, is the owner. You can say the owner of incident, who will control the responsibility and so on. Second, communication lead. Communicate. Why we need this? So you during the incident, sometimes you do need to report incident to upper management and so on. So communication lead, he react or work as a public information officer. So he communicates about the information outside the team, and in the similar way, if there is any information from outside, he will be responsible for conveying it to the team. So communication lead basically protect the team from outside noises, so that the team can focus solely on incident recovery itself. So that's the role of communication lead. And finally, the technical lead. He will be a subject matter expert, and he will be responsible for executing the real task or do the hands-on. Um, Technical lead basically communicates with commander, and he share the decisions and updates to him. And yeah, that's the role of incident. That's the role of the technical lead there. So again, in Mercari, um, you have three roles for managing incident: incident commander, communication lead, and technical lead. And each one has its own responsibility. So yeah, just take in mind, I think what I mean, when you encounter an incident, it's important to assign the roles and act accordingly. Okay, till now, does anyone have any questions? Okay, yeah, just interrupt me if you have any questions. Next is CAN report. So CAN is basically stands for conditions, action, and needs. So when you have the incident, you have some conditions like type of incident, the state of incident, and its severity level. You will have the summary and the blast radius means customer impact, how much customer have impact. Based on it, I think you decide sections, what is being done yet, and who is doing it. So that make it more clear. And needs additional personal resources during the incident. It's important um, to share information or to not get shame in asking for help from anyone, because it's important to reduce the impact on customer, and hence it's important to put emphasis on the CAN report. So incident commander basically will be checking this, um, I mean, what's being done and who is doing it, and its technical lead also, if he needs more support on the incident, because sometimes incident is not, it cannot be supported by just one person. So it's really important that you make a better collaboration with the team, your commander, and then yeah, you can ask for the resources and together work on the recovery from the incident. So this is just I mean, a report which has some um, format, and based on that, I think you can discuss what's being done and what's remaining, and if you need any supports and so on. Now let's go to some vocabulary which is being important in terms of incident management. So this graph shows the timeline. Okay, so from we are here in the normal operation, and then you have an incident, and then you go through incident support and eventually back to the normal operation again. So during the incident, um, we have defined mainly three words which we use to improve um, the incident recovery over the time. Let's start with the MTTA. So MTTA is, I think, it stands for mean time to acknowledge. So there is an incident. You notice that there is an incident, and then you start looking. I mean, there is an incident already started, but you acknowledged it little later. So acknowledgement is like, for example, you noticed on the Slack alert, or we didn't notice at all, and some customer informed us about the incident. So when you get acknowledged about the incident, that is called the MTTA. So mean time to acknowledge incident. So the time between start of an incident to acknowledge of incident is called the mean time to acknowledge the incident. Then there is a MTTR. MTTR is mean time to resolve. So when you acknowledge the incident uh, to the time when you resolve the incident, that's called the MTTR, mean time to resolve the incident. And for both of it, I think the addition of MTTA and MTTR frames MTRS, which is mean time to restore service. From the start of incident to the resolving of incident is called MTRS. So these three words, I think you will encounter in the report also. So just um, try to get through it. What is MTTA, MTTR, and MTRS? Um, and in the retrospective also, we usually check, I mean, how we can improve the MTTA, how we can improve the MTTR and MTRS. Um, because if we can detect or acknowledge incident as fast as possible, we can shorten the time for incident recovery. We'll be talking about it more in detail, but just remember these three words, which you will see quite often. So I already talked about the MTTS. I will be skipping this here: MTTA, MTTR, and MTRS, which is sum of MTT and MTTR. Okay. Um, so here are some best practices for the incident response. I think I will not go through all. You can just read it later, but I think it also connects to the Sana-san questions. Um, we need to somehow prioritize what we need to do. So the priority would be stop the bleeding, restore the service, and preserving the evidence for root cause. So in the incident, you usually go for stopping bleeding by making some temporary measures, and then you preserve the incident for root cause, go to the root cause, and then you will follow up. You do the permanent measure uh, I mean, to fix the root cause. So during the incident, it's pretty important to prioritize what's need to be done at priority, and the priority is simple, like stopping the bleeding. Then you prepare. So in Mercari, we have, I think, enough process for incident management. So you just need to follow that. We are kind of like prepared for it. But on a team level also, it's highly recommended that you create some kind of like a playbooks uh, which guides you through the incident management. So if an incident occurs, how you will be reacting during this, and if possible, you can codify those things. By codify, I means, let's say if you can automate some process in case of like an incident, that will help to recover it fast. And these are some process related stuff like trust. You need to give the autonomy to the assigned roles. You will introspect after that. Consider alternatives, means you will when in the time of incident, I think you will follow the same process like over and again. And if you see that any issue with the process, um, you have to reevaluate it, and you need to decide whether it really makes sense to continue or not. If you feel that it's a hinder in your process, you can stop doing it or just continue it. And practice, so you need to practice for incident support. I mean, it can happen to anyone. um, you are here to support, you are here to develop systems, and as a team members, I think, on, let's say you are on call duty, and um, that time unfortunately you got an incident. So if you practiced well, I think you can support incident in a smooth way. And change it around means, in a team it's important that everyone plays a different role each time. So um, you can just rotate the roles. Let's say this time someone plays a role for incident commander, next time it can be someone else. So as a team collaboration, I think you can do it more better. Okay, so I think we'll not go through all the details here, but these are the best practices for decreasing the MTTA, which is I think which we discussed. MTTA is again a mean time to acknowledge incident. So how you will acknowledge incident quickly is like you improve your monitoring. You have to have enough alerts to identify the incidents. You will have the panic button for the customer support, who can just quickly quickly alert you. Then automatic incident triggering, um, automatic response team alerting. We have some already in place, but I'm on team levels. You can also do some automations to improve the acknowledgement of the incident. And yeah, so these are the some of the best practices for improve decreasing the MTTR. For MTTR, as I shared, I think you can codify the some of the process, which can help to recover incident as fast as possible. And um, let me talk about this multiple SMEs running multiple swim lanes, which means um, I think it's important to collaborate in a way where multiple SMEs, subject matter experts, they are supporting and working in different swim lanes, and um, yeah, eventually you all are working on recovery um, in collaboration. So that's important to learn during the incident, and eventually discipline in following process. So we defined the process, and the process is here to make the incident recovery smooth. So if you follow the process, it will eventually help you to yeah, achieve your goal of like smooth recovery. um, so discipline is pretty necessary in following process. So I will highly recommend that if you encounter any incident, go to this document, follow the process, or even before that, I would say that you should read this document multiple times and practice it, so that you can get at least the process, how to react during the incident. This is again, I think it's related to MTTR. So we'll skip it. You guys can read later. So next one is about the incident postmortem, and in the postmortem, um, this is a quote from yeah, it's hard to pronounce his name, Snip. But yeah, without a predictable way to respond incident, any organization growing or mature is at risk. So this says that you have to have some predictable way, or when you design the system, let's say designing for, I mean, you might have heard about the designing for failure. So you have to predict that there would be an incident, and in that case you have to get prepared for that incident in advance. If you prepared it, I think you can definitely recover or support incident as quick as possible. So while working, I think you need to continuously predict that this could lead to an incident, and you need to prepare that in your playbooks. And if you have playbooks, you are, I think everyone in your team can support it easily. So it's important to predict the incident, and then based on your prediction, you will prepare for this disaster. Okay. So these are some incident postmortem best practice. Yeah, you will assign a postmortem owner. You have to complete within the timeline. So we have SLOs defined for incident severities. We will talk it later, but it's really important that you will follow the timeline to complete the postmortem. You will collaborate, schedule meeting with the PMs and your teams to collaborate on the postmortem. You discuss and assign the actionable follow-up action and complete the follow-up action. And the most important part is sharing the learnings. um, so it's really important to keep sharing what you have learned from incident to your team, and not only your team. Whenever you get opportunity, you can share it in all hands also. In engineering all hands, we have a time slot where we ask some engineers to share their learnings, so that other team can also learn from their incidents, and make sure that they will not follow the same thing again. So these are the best practice for the postmortems. Okay, so this is just timeline what we have talked here. So we'll skip it. Then what's a successful postmortem looks like? So you have a clear ownership. You go for context and key details. Context and key details are clear. You are completing it on time. You are tracking the follow-up actions. So there is always a trend that you will see that you do the temporary measure, you and then I think once the incident is fixed, you think it's over, and a lot of follow-up actions just get deprioritized because you got some other priority project or so on. But it's important to track the follow-up actions, because follow-up actions make sure that uh, the lapse prevention, which means you are making sure that the same incident don't happen again. So you need to track the follow-up action. And the most important thing, the blameless language in the postmortem report. It's highly recommend that you don't mention anyone's name. uh, Incidents usually occur in the system. No one want to do no one want to happen, how should I say, the incident uh, intentionally. So it just happened by any cause. I mean, it can be a human error, it can be from let's say a software failure, a network failure, or anything. It's important to learn from it, but there is no space for blame. So whenever you write incident report, or when you are in the incident support, uh, please try to focus on the incident support itself rather than blaming here and there. So, and same is expected in the blameless in the postmortem report. So you will not write anyone's name. You will just target the process, um, and if there is an issue in the process, we can improve it. So please follow the blameless language in the report. Okay. So this is the result of successful postmortem. So that's why it's highly recommended that after every incident, and in Mercari, I think we have to conduct. It's a process, so we have to conduct postmortem report. And once you do in the proper manner, um, you will have less blame, toil, panic. Um, you will learn and improve continuously, and eventually, if we have less incidents, we'll be happy because we don't need to support on over and over time, and eventually our customer would be happy. So take this quite seriously. Incidents are I would say can result in huge loss to the company. um, yeah, you might have noticed on many occasions where a small incident result in huge loss, not only in terms of sales, but sometimes the valuation of the company also. So yeah, you need to prioritize and focus on the incident response and continuously improving over the time. Today, I think we go through incident management process. Um, I know. I think it's in 1 hour. It's hard to get that much of knowledge or that much of understanding. But I think you guys go through the slides, check it, because I assume I think it would be better if you prepared for incident. That will eventually help you to uh, get away, I mean smoothly take over from the incident. So just get prepared, um, go through it. If you have any questions, you can ask anyone in the PJ Blameless channel anytime. Someone will respond to you from the committee, um, and just suggest that you will be better prepared for incident and improve it over the time. So yeah, that's all from my side today. Thanks everyone for your time.